The reason your marriage is not turning out the way that you hoped it would is because you have no idea who is running your relationship. What is running your relationship, what the true drivers are. So my name is Shiloh Miner. I'm a love coach for married women who love their husbands but sometimes hate them too. And I want to talk about how excruciating it is, the levels of pain that you are in when your relationship is not functioning properly, when you're not in love, when you're not connecting, when you're not feeling the trust, when you're not having the security that you desire. What happens is you're going to feel like, I cannot take this anymore. I cannot take this anymore. But here's the problem. When you can't take it anymore, when you feel like you're dying, when you feel like, oh, this person's not listening to me, they're ignoring me, or they're not doing what I asked, or they're in some way, not responding the way you want them to, you're going to want to make them do what you want them to do. Because you can't take it anymore. You're like, I'm dying here, right? So how do you make someone do what you want them to do, right? So that's why you'll see relationship fights that are like, get him to call you back, get him to do the things. And it's like, you can't make anybody do anything. But if you feel like you're going to die, you're going to try. You're going to try really hard. And usually what that looks like is having a giant fight. Crying, accusing, yelling, complaining, criticizing. Sometimes it means trying to be perfect. So sometimes we don't do any of that stuff. Instead, we're like, I'm going to be so loving, so sexy, so wonderful, so kind that they will want to do for me what I need them to do. But the problem is you're coming from a place of desperation. You're coming from a place of, if you don't do this for me, I'm going to die, or we're going to get divorced, which kind of feels like dying, or I'm going to have to live in perpetual loneliness, which also feels like dying. So like you have to. So there's like a level of anxiety and stickiness and just like crunch that goes with this situation that will always cause it to backfire. Why does it backfire? Because nobody likes to receive that kind of energy. People feel it. People feel it when you're like, you have to do this or I will not be okay. If you don't do it, I will not be okay. And because of that, I might want to make sure you're not okay until you do it. Or I might, totally hide myself, deny myself to try to make this work out. But that never works either. And you end up in these cycles, right? That go downwards over time. And what people don't realize is that you can't really talk your way out of it. You can't. You can't talk your way out of it. You think you can, and you try to. You just talk and try to talk your way out of it. You try to be heard. You try to be understood. But that never seems to work. And the reason it doesn't work is because you're not talking. Your inner child is talking. Your inner child is going, I can't breathe. I'm dying here. Like, why don't you, right? Please, for the love, begging, pleading, crying, collapsing, shutting down. This is a small child inside you. Nothing's wrong with her. Nothing's wrong with you. But she's not really that good at being in adult relationships because why would she? She's a little girl. And this little girl is like, this feels just like when I was little, when my mom or my dad would not give me the attention, or I felt criticized and I felt alone. This feels the same. And I was so trapped and I was dying, and now here I am again. And what am I going to do about it? I'm going to make you change so that I don't have to relive that. Because if you don't change, I'm going to relive it. Do you see how disempowered this position is? This other person has to do the thing you want, or you're going to feel misery, right? And so that's why talking doesn't work. That's why, just trying to communicate a little better doesn't work. Because you, on a core level, do not know how to meet your own needs. And if you can't meet your own needs, nobody else can meet them either. What does that look like? In my work, that is inner child work. That is, how do I actually attend to my inner child? This is something that when I do this with my client for the first time, they're just like, oh, like light bulbs go on. Oh, that's why I feel so desperate. And I'm speaking to this woman, articulate, mature, elegant, charming, blah, blah, blah. That's her adult. And she's like, got this other part of her that kind of comes out, right? Very anxious, very angry, very hurt. And it's like when she's talking to me, she's still in her adult. She's giving me these reasonable words and actions. But I know that's not what's running her relationship. Because if that was running her relationship, she wouldn't be feeling all these awful feelings that she's feeling. Our inner child matters. Her feelings matter. We want to attend to her, but she should not be in the driver's seat of your relationship. Now, when you're fighting, when there's conflict, your husband's probably going into his inner child too. That's when he doesn't make a lot of sense. That's when he overreacts. That's when maybe he says awful, horrible things that you never forget that he said. It's probably not true. It's not probably his all-adult self. This is inner child talking to you. Now, if he's constantly berating you and attacking you, that's a different ball of wax. That's an emotionally abusive relationship, and these tactics don't apply. But in any case, you need to be able to meet your own needs emotionally so that you can be consciously showing up as an adult in your relationship and not as the child part who is trapped, who is scared, who is hurting, who's disempowered, who needs your husband to be fixer. Fix me, make me better. Do the thing I said to make me better. And the problem is that any man you're married to is going to have some traits that will trigger your inner child. No matter how wonderful he is, he will have some traits. He'll have some weaknesses, he'll have some blind spots, he'll have some flaws that will cause your body to flood with stress hormones, which feels like I'm going to die. And I say this because I think it's very confusing to us mature women that we can handle so much. We're so level-headed. We got all these kids and this work and these things and we're on it. But we can feel absolute excruciating pain with this man who's a good guy. Who we're I love this man. I want to stay with this man. Why do I want to die? Why do I feel I can't not take another second of this? I want to poke my eyeballs out. It's normal. Nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with him. This is a common experience. If you're experiencing it every second, maybe no. But in all relationships, even good ones, sometimes we feel these floods of pain. And they're just your pain. They're stuff you brought from your childhood that is now being triggered by your husband. And the problem is we think he caused it and that he has to fix it because we wouldn't feel this way if you hadn't done the thing, if you hadn't said the thing. The good news is he doesn't have to fix it most of the time. You can fix it. It's really good news because now it's under your control. That's why I work with individuals and not couples, because it's fast. When you work with couples, both people have to come along, and that's hard. All couples therapists are that's hard. You get one person, the other person's not coming to the table, and then the other person's not coming to the table. People's inner childs are fighting each other. They're also trying to get you on their side as the therapist. I'm the victim, that guy's the bad guy, it's them, it's not me. And you get in these really difficult, tangled knots. But when you work with one person, and in my case, a man or a woman, who is ready to take responsibility and make changes, it's so fast. That's why I can see your relationship transform in, 4 sessions. Generally, that's common. That's not unusual. And it's because you are now taking responsibility for your own experience, doing the things that would improve your own experience, and then learning skills on how to now relate to your husband from that place of clarity, maturity, from your adult self. She was always there. It's not that you're a child. It's that you get hijacked and your inner child is oh, I need to sort this out because things are not going well here. So step aside, grown woman. I've got this. And she makes a mess of it, right? She uses childhood coping mechanisms and strategies to get what she wants. And if you've noticed, chasing your husband with a pitchfork, telling him to love you better, doesn't work. These are protest strategies. Been there, done that, no shame to you. It just does not work. So your relationship is not working because you think you can talk and talk to make it better. It's not working because you don't even understand the deeper motivations that are causing you to feel the depths of pain you are feeling, which means you are then not knowing how to fix that pain. You're barking up the wrong tree. You're trying to make him change. You're trying to make him do things so you don't feel that pain anymore. And then number 4, the way you're acting in your dysregulation in your childhood is then also triggering him, which puts us in these downward spirals of pain, distance, self-protection, accusation, and blame. And you end up going, I'm just not happy anymore. This person, I don't feel safe around them. This probably can't work. When in the reality, it may have worked. It could have worked if you had the tools that I teach, if you understood how men work, if you knew how to stand up for yourself. I want to talk also about how to stand up for yourself, because this is something that nobody understands well. Like, I honestly think I've become the ninja of this. And this is when you're married and you're not going to use divorce as leverage. You're not at the point of ultimatums. You don't want to go there. How do you set a boundary? What is your enforcement of that boundary? Because, again, talking and talking and talking is often not the solution. You have to take action in some way. And this is different to every relationship. I'm not going to give you a blanket action-taking statement because it really must be done with love, with precision, with maturity, and with follow-through. That's when you see real change. So if you want to know about how I do this, my real love method, you can enroll in my Happily Married Woman program. This gives you the top to bottom, everything in detail, worksheets, scripts, action items, and understanding of how to put yourself first, understand your man, communicate powerfully, and be his lover, not his mother. This is the foundation of my process, and it can change your whole relationship. It will feel like overnight. It will feel like overnight. It's crazy. And if you're like, you know what, I want personal support, I want Shiloh, I want her answers, I want her to walk me through this, I have one-on-one coaching, Magical Marriage Mentorship. To be part of that, all you got to do is message me. I have a free consultation to make sure we're a good fit, to answer all your questions, and to direct you to the program that is absolutely the best fit for you. I love having you here. I love hearing your feedback. I love when people drop in my DMs and say, hey, that one really meant a lot to me. Thank you so much for this content. This is so relatable. I want to work with you. Whatever it is, let me know, because I want to help you more and I want to make sure my content is helping you. Have a wonderful day. I can't wait to hear from you.